Hey, what's up you guys? This is Junior Trader and in this video, let's take a look at the beautiful comeback first of all on NVIDIA. We'll take a look at the levels as what we were watching for this breakout to the upside. We'll take a look at AMD unstoppable, just continuing up straight, just breaking every other previous record. I'll share my opinion as well when we get to AMD because yes, we do have strong push in the price action, but there is something that I want to point out. We'll talk about that. We'll take a look at other semiconductors as well in this video, that is ARM, Broadcom, Micron, TSM, and Intel. And then we'll wrap up this video with S&P 500, unstoppable that it is still, and also NASDAQ 100. So with that, let's jump right into it. Once I let you know, none of this is any financial advice, only for education purposes, just sharing my opinion. Please do your own thing. A great comeback on NVIDIA guys over here, okay? If you have seen my last video, I mentioned that NVIDIA here is much more in the weakness than just a pullback. The level that we had to wait and watch for was, let's get to the hourly interval, $200 to begin with. All right, now this video that you know about I did 2 days ago, and this is where I mentioned that it's just a rejection, and for the next day I mentioned that $200 as we stay below that is just a rejection. Now I didn't do a video on my YouTube yesterday, but I did the video for my members. If you're a member on my Patreon, you are all caught up for the level that you were watching for today on NVIDIA. If you want to be a member, you can check out the details in the description of this video. There are Patreon links, all the details you will find over there. Get access to my tools as well if you want to trade in the real time, knowing the real price action information. My tools will help you in that. All right, now, so here we are at $200 was the zone and the level that I mentioned yesterday to my members, that breakout above this is where we'll get to see some strength, and we got that today because this was a rejection zone as well for yesterday, which we got the rejection at, right? And once we started to break that, and then it just was like straight through the roof. Okay, now we had a breakout at $200. That was our confirmation zone, and definitely 208 and 2 was an extra confirmation. We broke out, stabilized for next few hours, and bam, the next move up. NVIDIA has wrapped up its weakness. It's all behind us now, and NVIDIA is already from $200 is in the strength back again. 202 is a next leg confirmation. NVIDIA right now is all bullish. Good thing is that it didn't lose this level of 194. Okay, that was the very important zone that we had to see NVIDIA hold, because if we would have lost it, NVIDIA was in much more bigger problems, because this zone previously had seen huge short volume percent interest and lot of resistance. So holding this zone is a big win for NVIDIA itself, and today showing us a breakout above that confirmation level is just a push in the continuation to the upside. At this point, NVIDIA continues to remain bullish. $202 area just becomes our zone of a continuation of the support, and even on the lower time frame, pretty much, yeah, like 202 and so forth will just remain bullish, and we are just good in the multi-day. There are definitely more levels will show up slowly and slowly by the time market opens up tomorrow on my tools. So use the nearest level to risk manage, but even 203 and 80 cents is just until there. If any pullback happens, we're just going to still remain bullish on NVIDIA. Very strong, very good. Now let's talk about AMD, and as we'll talk about AMD, I do want to share my opinion here, because yes, AMD after earnings gapped up. Sure, they, good guidance, lot of, revenue increases and all that stuff, but something, if you look at it, their earnings, 9.9 billion were expected, they delivered 10.25 billion. Okay, now, but if we go back a quarter, they delivered 10.27 billion. How much is the difference? They reported less technically, okay, in their revenue. All right, estimated was, and well, let's not forget we have to see the earnings per share up there. Yes, that's huge, that's high, that's much more in higher margin profit. Previously it was 0.91, this time it's 1.37. If you go back few quarters more, their earnings per share has been increasing, but their revenue hasn't been in that perpendicular trajectory if you compare that with NVIDIA. NVIDIA has quarter over quarter doubled, okay? NVIDIA, if you look at it, I'm just showing you year over year quarter almost, it has doubled, all right? And that is not seen in AMD yet. AMD is ripping through quite a lot, but that is like NVIDIA has shown that doubling in revenue as well and earnings per share as well. AMD is getting ahead on the earnings per share, but not necessarily on the revenue yet. Now, how much is forward priced here? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Now, the price is really strong still though. Now, that's the whole point. I just wanted to point that out because this vertical climb, if it's also supported by some more numbers on the financial sheet, that's great. But technically, as I have been saying, overall structure on AMD is bullish. And yes, as per my last video that you would have seen here on my channel on the YouTube, the public channel, for the following day, this was the zone. As we would have gotten above it, there was no sign of weakness, right? This was the zone for that particular day. The day we started, yes, we started the day with some weakness. We started the day with some weakness here. You can see at that level we rejected, but once we stabilized in that zone, we broke out. That was it. And especially that was the earnings day as well, so you got to let the earnings happen pretty much. But that multi-day weakness that it was the multi-day weakness scenario just completely itself sufficed to the upside. So weakness didn't come through, and that's the whole point. When the overall structure is bullish, you can't really trade the other side forever. You need to know, you should know that, okay, this is just a near-term weakness for either few minutes, few hours, and it may continue in the multi-day weakness as we continue to hold that break of the structure. But once we regain that, higher probability is overall structure is bullish, so that will hold. And that's why I mentioned specifically that only if we stay below this zone, then only there will some weakness linger around. But that was the following day was an earnings day as well, and we ripped through straight after the earnings. But before that, price action was already, weakness was completing already, right? So we are getting already in the strength, and then earnings pushed it through up. At this point, AMD, like, it's super strong still. There is no sign of bearishness still, okay? You can't short this thing still. It can go sticky here, but right now it's gonna stay bullish, guys. Even if any pullback happens, like 363 is just going to be a support zone. Now, as you know, I have been telling you that even from here, guys, these are just the pullback. These are just the pullback, right? You can't short it. Even if, let's say you thought, oh, I can short it here. Guys, look at it. It's what, $100 up from there almost. Yeah, you would have by now blown up your account, right? And it's still not a short. If you think, oh, now it's a short. No, it's still not a short. There is no weakness in the price action. However you look at it, AMD is still very strong. It will be some time before we see the break, which is right now many days away, even if that has to happen. So we are still just bullish. At this point, definitely I won't suggest take a big position. No, definitely no. Time to take positions were down here where you see the highlighted boxes that I provided to my members. That was the time to start a position. At this point, you should be slowly and slowly sizing down your position. ARM had its earnings today, $263 already. Anyhow, we were already in the strength at 216. Let's get to the above that. I talked to my members as well yesterday, ARM, on my Patreon, and this was above this already. Strength was there, but also the multi-day weakness was a little bit of the sideways action is over already on this thing, which was above 207, and definitely 216 pushed up. Hey, but now in the post market, in the earnings, this thing is pushing through more. New all-time highs, 238 and 40 cents. becomes just a new support. Chips are going through the roof. There is no stopping it. Okay, don't stand in front of a high-speed railway here. Okay, it's just gonna make you disappear, right? You can't stand in front of this train. Okay, so yeah, yeah. So this thing is still very bullish. ARM also. Okay, let's get to Broadcom. Now, Broadcom still in the bullish structure, a little bit slowing down today, a little bit giving up the gains, but it's just a pullback. Broadcom is still in the bullish structure. Good extensions from 323. That was the time to enter a position. Technically, it's still in the bullish structure, but this is the time you would be a little bit sizing down your position. But overall structure will be bullish even until 406. We don't want to see it lose 414 though. That may trigger some weakness, multi-day weakness, but right now it's all good so far. Okay, so that's Broadcom. Micron still continuing bullish, all good, nothing has changed in our thesis. Just keep moving your trailing area, and at this point, let's get to that. Yeah, at this point, yeah, this zone like 627 is a good support for even tomorrow, and 652 is also a good support. No problem as long as we are above 627 and 80 cents area on Micron. Still continuing up, still bullish. TSM still in the bullish structure. I have told my members that it's a slow mover, and yes, it has been, you know, going a little bit sideways along the ways, but it's still in the bullish structure, and it's still in the bullish structure. Now this zone 414 to 410 becomes our support zone on TSM. All right, this is still in the bullish structure, so all good. Chips, yeah, they're not slowing down. Intel is also just bullish. It's at its new all-time highs, guys. New all-time highs every day, every day. Okay, it's still bullish, still continuing up, still in the bullish structure. There is no multi-day weakness, no overall weakness. It's just not even a, it's just a day of a little bit of a cool off, but it's not in the weakness of multi-day. This is our still ongoing good support, 107 and 6 cents. So structure is still bullish on Intel. Let's get to now NASDAQ 100 first, and then S&P 500, guys, and we'll wrap up with that. Now, before we wrap up, please hit the like and subscribe if you haven't done so. Also, check out my memberships if you are interested. That will also help in supporting the channel and me to be doing these videos for you. Okay, now I have the tools that you need in the real time to make real decisions in the trading. They are not costly either. You can make money for the year amount of the tool membership in just 5 days if you use the tools right, the way you will be provided the onboarding videos. Okay, tools don't cost that much, but it helps you to make your trading better and accurate and easier, proper risk management and all of that. All that good stuff. Check that out in the description of this video. There are Patreon links. Okay, now NASDAQ 100. NASDAQ 100 is still bullish. Okay, still bullish, all good. Now definitely every day I think that this has to be it. When I see in the pre-market, now let me talk my pre-market today, what I was thinking about it, but just thinking about it, because I was like, yeah, sure, we have some good news coming around the market. It went up, and yes, I was expecting that, okay, it will cool off a little bit. It did cool off, but happened in the pre-market. So during the regular market, you can't really take any more a cool off trade. But I was like, okay, it may mostly go sideways. I didn't trade QQQ today. I traded other stocks, but, or other one stock, two stock, that's all. Okay, but the point is that it just didn't, like, throughout the day it just continued up and continued up, never did any cool off. Okay, I hold NASDAQ 100 and SPY through other ETFs where I'm taking partial profits, guys, just so you know. I am taking partial profits in these extensions. I am not a forever holder of anything. Okay, I enter when the opportunity is, and I exit when I have made good money, and when things are in extension, and I get out more when structure is breaking. Okay, so right now, slowly and slowly, partial profits in the extensions, and then remaining position when the structure breaks. Then gotta get out. Okay, so Structure is still bullish on Nasdaq 100 also. Now 693 and 70 cents for tomorrow is a good support. If we lose it, definitely, you know, it will a little bit for the day may go sideways, which again at this point every day it's going up. If it loses one level below, yeah, some weakness is possible, but as you can see, we just continue to hold the levels, right? Even today you can see it's holding the level. It's just not slowing down. Nasdaq 100 is very strong. Okay, so yeah, market is very strong. Nasdaq 100 is very strong. So still, excuse me, market is looking really strong, really good at this point. Okay, so very bullish. Yeah, it's a vertical climb. It's a vertical climb. Every time I look at the market, like let's get to the weekly interval for a second. Like if you look at it, like we really don't get much pullbacks on these indices anymore. Like, doesn't it look like a melt up? Again, structure is bullish, you know. You can call it a melt up over here as well, but look at it. It's up here already. You can call a melt up here as well. It did a dip, went back straight up, right? So that's the whole point. You can't do that way. You have to trade the structure. That's the only way. And you gotta get out when the structure breaks. That's the only way. You can't time the melt ups. You can't time the drawdowns just thinking 10 months ahead or thinking that, oh, this is it. No. This is it will then last for 10, 20 years, you know. That's not the way to trade. What you're gonna be like, oh, market is just so extended. No, it just doesn't matter. You will see so many articles and videos out there that this is what happens before the market crashes, like those type of, you know, crazy stuff. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. You have to trade the structure. That's all. That's how easy market is. Okay, you just have to understand it. Okay, so now, yeah, just bullish, guys, just bullish. Now the thing is that these areas 628, even if we see a dip or a fall for months to come, 628 to 630 is a great support. I don't see how we will break that now. That's the whole point. So yeah, all right, S&P 500 also continuing up, very bullish. There is no sign of weakness. And you know, 725 is just now overall next level of support. Okay, hourly interval, look at it, vertical climb. Like, have you ever seen S&P 500 and Nasdaq 100 going parabolic? Well, these are big indices, you know. These are billion-dollar well, not maybe trillion now, who knows, right? But yeah, there's just so much money just flows in there, right? So anyhow, S&P 500 is also still very bullish. Overall will be fine, even 724. So there will be some levels show up tomorrow, just use those, but I would say even use like 730. There will be a level tomorrow around 730. My tools will mark those zones automatically for you, but right now what my tools are doing is, well, they automatically do it. They are letting the price action mature, and then it gives you the confirmed zones only, right? So all that stuff, it takes care about it all automatically for you. You don't have to think anything. Check out my tools in the description of this video. All right, guys, that's all I had. Please hit the like and subscribe if you found it helpful and valuable. Wasn't planning to spend this much time in this video, but hey, I got carried away, you know, sharing my opinion here. If you love to hear my opinion, as I said, hit the like and subscribe. All right, guys, with that, see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.